I will now ask all members of the board, administration, and community to stand at attention, facing the flag with their right hand over their heart to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, first up on our agenda this evening is the superintendent's report.
Thank you, sir. Tonight we are going to cover several topics, starting with an update on Cherokee and finishing with an invitation for Lake Forest Day, which will be here before we know it. So let's get into the report. The topic around Cherokee, there's two things that I wanted to touch on. As we shared earlier this spring, we are working with the Center for Model Schools to assess culture, teaching, and learning at Cherokee in alignment with our District 67 5-year strategic plan. The first piece of our work with the Center for Model Schools took place in April and May when we partnered to conduct an insight assessment consisting of school observations and 8 focus group discussions with students, staff, and parents. My sincere thanks to more than 40 staff members who volunteered to participate in these focus group conversations at a very busy time of year. This report was shared out with Cherokee families this week, as well as our staff members. The second topic with regard to Cherokee is around class sizes. And as a reminder, and we talked about this briefly in board workshop, nothing has changed since our discussion on May 14th, regarding our staffing plan for next year. We are waiting through August to determine if we need additional sections. Right now, it being June 18th and the soft registration date is today, we are tracking no new 4th grade students other than the ones that we anticipated having. So it reaffirms that we will continue to monitor throughout June, July, and into August. I will also note that we received an email from a parent around special education numbers. Please know that we are well within the guidelines to service our students with IEPs. Schools in Illinois are required to follow the Illinois State Board of Education 70-30 rule, which sets the ratio of students without and with IEPs scheduled in general education classrooms. In general education classrooms, no more than 30% of students on the class roster should have IEPs, and all of the classes in all of the elementaries, including Cherokee, are within these ratios set forth by the state. The next topic I would like to touch on is also something that was addressed in workshop, which is around the 10-year health and life safety ADA Enhanced Accessibility and Capital Plan Review. This will be a roadmap for future facilities work, not a plan, but a strategic approach as we look at the future of facilities in the next 10 years within 67. Remember that a 10-year health and life safety survey is required for all public schools in the state of Illinois. And we have design professionals with the help of Perkins and Will who are doing that assessment. And the board received an update from our architect in board workshop with the understanding that you will get a completed, more complete assessment information at the August board workshop. And we will be submitting the finalized draft to the state in November of this calendar year. A note, there will be many things in this 10-year plan. The board will work with senior administration to prioritize what we want to tackle in what order. So those conversations will happen after we get an update in August, and then we will begin the prioritization process. Bearing in mind that not only will you see in the board goals tonight, but it has been said previously that District 67 will be working hard to ensure that we are not going to referendum for these projects. This past week, we had a learning and literacy symposium held at 67 in partnership with the Lake County Regional Office of Education and Amplify. Here are some of the speakers that were on site with us. And I will tell you, when I was there at the beginning, the first person to speak after the introductory comments was somebody from the state of Illinois. And they shared with the audience of about 150 that Lake Forest is leading the way in literacy across the state with the work that we have done with the adoption to Amplify. And my heart was warmed by that, given the fact that this has been a 3-year journey, with this being the first year for Amplify. And here are the districts that came to see and participate in the symposium with 150, as I said, participants. And we were showcasing our work and learning together with our Chicagoland districts. And I want to give a special shout out to Vail and her leadership for making this possible. We continue to look for ways to showcase the work we're doing and to be a learning institution, not only for our students, but for our staff. You all would be proud of what was shared and of the excitement of the districts that were visiting us. I will finish with those 2 things. One is congratulations. Since the last time I saw you, we had the DPM class of 2024. There is a wonderful picture of some of our board members in the bottom right-hand picture. It was a wonderful, albeit rainy day, but both graduations were rainy, interestingly enough. Let's hope that doesn't happen moving forward. But we were happy to celebrate our students and this monumentous occasion as they matriculate into the high school realm. I don't want to think about August yet, but I do want to think about Lake Forest Day, which is August 7th. And if you are interested in participating as a student, we will post this, and those of you who are watching online, we encourage you to represent your school in the parade on August 7th. There's many things to do for Lake Forest Days. If you'd like to come join some of us running the 5K, that'll be 7:30 in the morning, I think, on August 7th as well. So we're looking forward to that, but we don't want to rush through the end of June and July. That concludes my report, and thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions from the board for Dr. Montgomery? All right, we will move on to the public participation portion. The board will now hear public comment subject to board policy 2230. The Lake Forest Boards of Education welcome public attendance and participation at all meetings. It is hoped that by utilizing these guidelines, participation will be maximized, both in terms of fairness and organization. At this point in the evening's agenda, this opportunity for public comment will be limited to comments about this meeting's agenda items only. Please hold all other comments until the following opportunity for public comment later during tonight's meeting. Are there any members of the public who would like to address the board? Seeing none, we will move to the next agenda item. First up is reports. Do we have a report from the Finance and Ops Committee from Carl or Monica?
Yes, we do. It's going to be a fantastic report. Yes. The Finance and Operations Committee met on Thursday morning, June 6th, and during the meeting we discussed a whole bunch of different items. We discussed a cooperative insurance busing contract, building automation and controls contract, budget transfers, a tentative budget, and an update to the health and life safety and enhanced accessibility report. Most of those items are part of tonight's agenda. You can read into that. I do recommend everybody go to the full report within the agenda and just click on it and go through the slide deck was part of that presentation. Next school year's meetings will be discussed and scheduled with the committee chair, superintendent, and the chief of operations. We'll try to figure that out as we press forward. And that concludes my report, pending any questions you may have, Mr. President.
Any questions on Finance and Ops report? Nope. All right, I will move on to the Policy Committee report. The Policy Committee met on Tuesday, May 21st, along with District 115 and members of the administration to review Press Issue 114. The majority of the policies submitted for review by ASB were identified as part of the 5-year review requirement. Many of the policies remain unchanged and/or had minor footnote and legal reference updates. There is one new policy being introduced, Policy 2270, discrimination and harassment on the basis of race, color, and national origin prohibited. Press Issue 114 is on the agenda for the board's approval this evening. The committee recommends that the board accept the updates from IASB at this time and that the first reading be waived to meet IASB and state law deadlines. Policy 5240 is also being presented as an update per the recommendation from legal due to our current policy being outdated. During the board workshop this evening, Ms. Engelberg was appointed to the policy committee, replacing Annie Helms, and Emily Bernal was appointed chairperson. Press Issue 115 has just been released, and a meeting will be held jointly in the upcoming months to discuss the recommendations. Any questions for the policy committee report?
It seemed like just a bunch of different minor edits. Was it Title IX or Title 19? Was that one of the bigger things that was part of that? Okay.
Any other questions on the policy report? Nope.
President Remus, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to take a moment and thank Monica for her esteemed leadership. I see that it's reflected in the minutes, but I just wanted to celebrate again. Thank you for taking over and doing such a fine job with the meeting.
Thank you.
Well, at least you read the notes.
All right, moving on to liaison reports from True North. The True North Educational Cooperative reports from May 8th and June 12th meetings are linked to the agenda. Anything else, Emily, for True North?
No, honestly, the superintendent's board briefs are an excellent insight into the workings of True North, so I just refer the public and board to those attachments.
Any questions regarding True North? Nope. All right, we're going to move on to the action items this evening. The first action item is the approval of the board goals, which we discussed in workshop. The board has discussed these extensively in the months leading up to this approval for this evening. The board goals reflect the board's priorities for the administration, where we want the focus to be in terms of both academics, readiness for high school, culture and well-being, as well as financial responsibility. Do I have a motion to approve the board goals?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Yan?
Yes.
Mr. Carrar?
Aye.
Mr. Remus?
Yes.
Ms. Engelberg? Ms. Parikh Chauhan? Mr. Adamo?
Aye.
Ms. Bernal?
Aye.
Motion carries.
We're now going to move on to approval of the 2024-2025 tentative budget. May I have a motion to approve the 2024-2025 tentative budget?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have a, or actually first, any discussion?
Just wanted to point out, this came up in our finance committee, and it's just part of the regular procedure. The final budget will be in September, so this is just all preliminary.
Any other discussion? All right, may I have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Remus?
Yes.
Ms. Engelberg? Mr. Adamo?
Aye.
Ms. Bernal?
Aye.
Ms. Parikh Chauhan? Mr. Carrar?
Aye.
Ms. Yan?
Yes.
Motion carries.
The next agenda item is approval of the 2021-2026 Lake Forest Education Association contract extension. May I have a motion to approve the 2021-2026 LFEA contract extension?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Before we vote, maybe Matt can provide some commentary on this.
Thank you, sir. I would add that this extension, it came out of a reopener clause that was in the existing contract, and this extension reflects a great partnership between the LFEA and the administration, and I want to thank their leadership as we work through the reopener to get to the conclusion of the union ratifying in May and bringing this to the board tonight.
Any discussion? May I have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Parikh Jahan? Mr. Remus?
Yes.
Ms. Yan?
Yes.
Ms. Engelberg?
Yes.
Ms. Bernal?
Aye.
Mr. Carrar?
Aye.
Mr. Adamo?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next up, may I have a motion to approve the resolution authorizing reduction in force of educational support personnel?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion or questions? May I have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Carrar?
Aye.
Ms. Bernal?
Aye.
Ms. Parikh Jahan? Mr. Remus?
Yes.
Ms. Engelberg?
Yes.
Ms. Yan?
Yes.
Mr. Adamo?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next up, may I have a motion to approve the 2024-2025 Healthcare Staffing LLC contract?
So moved.
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
This is for our substitute nursing, just so everybody's aware.
May I have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Engelberg?
Yes.
Ms. Parikh Jahan? Ms. Bernal?
Aye.
Mr. Remus?
Yes.
Mr. Adamo?
Aye.
Mr. Carrar?
Aye.
Ms. Yan?
Yes.
Motion carries.
We will now move on to the consent agenda. Any item may be removed from the consent agenda at the request of a board member. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items, including items 1 through 18?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Yan?
Yes.
Mr. Adamo?
Aye.
Mr. Remus?
Yes.
Mr. Carrar?
Aye.
Ms. Parikh Jahan? Ms. Bernal?
Aye.
Ms. Engelberg?
Yes.
Motion carries.
We will move on to the FOIA requests for this month. There are 4 that have been completed for Frank McCormick, L. Lalit, Nicole Korzak, and Billy Kirstein. Actually, I apologize. The requests for Frank McCormick, L. Lalit, and Nicole Korzak have been completed. The request for Billy Kirstein is in progress. At this point, the board will now hear a second opportunity for public comment, subject to Board Policy 2230. This opportunity for public comment will be limited to 60 minutes. Are there any members of the public who would like to address the board? Seeing none, the last item are just some announcements. Wednesday, August 21st is the first day of attendance for grades 1 through 8. August 27th through 28th is the staggered kindergarten start. Tuesday, August 27th is the next Board of Education meeting at 7 p.m. in the West Campus Boardroom. I'd also like to wrap up the meeting just by congratulating and welcoming our new members, Mr. Adamo and Ms. Parikh. Congratulations, welcome. Thank you for your commitment. We appreciate it. May I have a motion to adjourn the City of Lake Forest School District 67 Board meeting for June 18th, 2024?
So moved.
May I have a second? Have a voice vote, please. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes.